Hey everybody, my name is Chris. I am leading the DevRel team here at Laravel, and today with me I have Nika and Gaga and with Redberry.
Yeah,
Nice to be
nice
here.
to nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to have you both. So could you both give me a little intro about yourselves and tell me what you do, what you like to do? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'll start. So I'm Gaga. I'm co-founder and CEO of Redberry. We are an agency from Tbilisi, Georgia. We started around 10, 11 years ago. Now we are around 200 people. And we are official partners with Laravel. We've been working with Laravel right from the very beginning. So it's been a long journey. And we built several hundred projects with Laravel.
Yeah, and I'm Nika. I am engineering director at Redberry. I've been here for like 10 years almost right now. Yeah, and basically I found out about Laravel when I was in the university, and straight from the first day I fell in love with it. Introduced it to Redberry actually, and yeah, it's been pretty nice journey from that point on.
Gosh, I love that story. I also started on Laravel about 10 years ago, and I don't know. It's great to see like we all started in the same place and we just converged into today.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, so I'd love to talk to you all about you've built hundreds of projects across 10 years. Like you've basically seen the whole life cycle of Laravel at this point. But there's one project in particular, like a recent project that you both built that was amazing. Could you tell me a little bit more about this recent project?
Yeah, sure. So the project was built for the Independence Day of Georgia, and we worked with Bank of Georgia for that project. Bank of Georgia is basically the biggest bank here in Georgia. They serve around 2.5 million customers. And we've been working with them for over 8 years now, so we frequently get the chance to work on projects like that. And this project particularly was focused on the Independence Day, and we wanted to build a platform that would allow Georgian diaspora to have a participation in the Independence Day celebrations that were happening locally. Because like there are hundreds of thousands Georgians who live abroad, and normally Independence Day is a big day in Georgia. There are a lot of like street celebrations and stuff going on, but like diaspora doesn't get a chance to really participate in those events. So we wanted to create a platform that would allow them to do that this year. And the platform was around submitting from abroad your name and place where you live, and then a dot would show up or light up in real time on a huge screen right at the Philharmonic Hall in downtown Tbilisi. And slowly all those dots comprised the flag of Georgia. So basically, like all the Georgian immigrants in all over the world kind of like contributed to jointly lighting up this huge Georgian flag, one dot at a time. So that was about the project, which came up to be quite emotionally charged with all of these people like connecting on the Independence Day together and creating this huge flag of Georgia in the center of the city.
I love that. So you're saying like real time as things were getting filled in, the flag was lighting up.
Yeah, that's right. So basically, as you are like as users were submitting the forms, each form in real time lit up a random dot on the Georgian flag,
cool.
basically. So it all came together slowly, and actually around 65 or 66,000 people participated in a span of just like 4 hours with that campaign.
Yeah, that's big scale. That's awesome. So
Yeah.
Independence Day for Georgia, big moment of like pride for the country. What does a project like that mean for Redberry?
Yeah, I mean, luckily we have a chance to work on really large-scale projects for many different clients all across the globe from many different industries. And normally the projects we work on are business-critical systems, and what we are most concerned of are the business results that our work drives for our clients. But thankfully, we also get a chance to work on projects like this, which are more like emotionally charged rather than business results driven. And these kind of projects are normally like huge activation campaigns that we do. And normally we do that in collaboration with big brands like Bank of Georgia, for example, in partnership with which we did this campaign. And from time to time, we get a chance to create projects like this. For example, like several years back, again with Bank of Georgia, we created a huge platform which transformed the Christmas corporate games Secret Santa into a nationwide thing. So basically, the thing was that around 10% of Georgia's population participated on that platform, and like 250,000 total strangers sent gifts to each other on Christmas, basically. And we had a separate platform also for small businesses during Christmas time, and they had a chance to kind of upload their product catalogs, and then we would suggest the products from small businesses as gifts to Secret Santa. So those are like, that's probably like one of the most memorable projects that we built, but that's the beauty of it, that we often get a chance to work on that kind of projects as well, which are more like emotionally charged rather than like business results driven, which is basically like the majority of our work still. But
Yeah.
Can I add one more thing about
Yeah,
that?
of course.
So basically, as Redberry, we basically work for like international clients, right? So there's not much chance here to basically create something that your parents or your relatives or like people that you actually know are gonna use it. So for developers and for us as well, it's like a huge motivation to do something that you know that people you know around you, they're gonna use it, and it's gonna be like emotionally charging for them as well. So that's like kind of special projects for us.
Yeah, I bet that's a cool feeling. Everything I build, I don't know, anybody within 5 miles of me will never see it. That's
Same
fun.
for us. But for us, it's more like 500 miles, I guess.
Yeah. International, yeah, I bet. So how long did you have for this project to build it?
Yeah, I mean, like the timeline was really tight on this project. So we had just like 3 weeks to design it, build it, and deploy it. So we kind of like starting planning of it in the beginning, but everything had to happen really quickly, basically, because like the timeline was quite constrained, like just
Yeah.
3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, 3 weeks, you call one of those weeks just review. You basically have 2 weeks to build, barely.
Yeah, and also including the design part of it. So yeah.
Oh, yeah. So with such a short timeline, and like seeing the requirements and knowing the timeline, what was the most nerve-wracking thing about it? Like what was you say your team identified as like a big risk thing?
Yeah, I mean, like given the timeline, obviously we are like concerned about a couple of things. Then, firstly, it was about like basically like developing and delivering the platform itself, because the platform had several tricky features, like for example, real-time broadcasting of the events and then capturing them on the to display the flag lit dot by dot on this huge screen. And basically like that was one part of it, but another part of that was around actually like the deployment of it, because these kind of projects are quite special in a way. And normally when you build a new system, it's not like you deploy it to production and then several thousand people are flooding it right away. Normally you have some time to gradually scale it up over days, weeks, or months, whatever. And with this kind of projects, you launch it to production and instantly you get thousands of people accessing it. And that's very challenging when it comes to that. And also you kind of get quite nervous about it because you don't know exactly beforehand how it will go. And basically, yeah, we are concerned around those two main aspects of it, like the development side of it, and then also like the deployment and scalability part of it. Yeah.
So fun. Yeah. I can imagine how it felt to go live, and just waiting for that first dot to light up.
Yeah.
Was when it went live, how was your team? How was the demeanor? Was everybody kind of like waiting for the first dot to come through?
Yeah, I mean, like when it went live, several hundred dots went up, like lit up in an instant. Like I mean, like when you're deploying this kind of platform to production, it's much like being in an emergency room at the hospital. So everybody really has to be quite hands-on, like monitoring everything that goes every second of it, etc., to make sure that everything runs smoothly. So I mean, yeah, it's quite challenge, but also quite exciting to see it come live basically, and a lot of people using it, like looking at the analytics in real time, like number of users going up to first hundreds, then thousands, etc. Yeah.
And one thing I was curious about, you said big screen. How big was this screen?
I mean, it's probably around 15 meters wide, or 20 meters wide. Yeah.
Giant screen.
Yeah. Something like that. I don't really know that on top of my head, but it's really huge.
It was a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. Were there any moments during the live event when it was live, things were coming through that you felt, oh no, something might be wrong?
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment when the system started responding with the internal server error for several requests. Yeah, 500. And then we thankfully were able to scale up with Laravel Cloud in a really short amount of time, like in a minute or two. And thanks to the zero downtime deployments, we are kind of like able to get over that moment quite seamlessly. But that's always that always makes you nervous, like when you see like 500s reported, something is wrong, and then you also have to act really fast, so it doesn't really impact many users. So I guess that was solved in a couple of minutes thanks to the quick deployment times on Laravel Cloud and also the scalability features that the platform offers.
That's great. So were you thinking it was, because anytime a 500 like that comes in, you immediately go for the code, right? You're saying it was more about like your instance ran out of memory or CPU or anything like that?
It was about the database, so we had to scale up the database layer basically, because there was a lot of write operations happening, a lot of people submitting the forms together. So yeah, basically once we scaled up the database layer, that was fixed in an instant. Yeah.
What would you say is the most unexpectedly difficult thing that you both had to overcome when building the project? Something that like was not on the roadmap in the 3-week planning, something that just came up that was a little bit more difficult?
First of all, we thought that working with Canvas was going to be the biggest like kind of challenge that we need to overcome. But as it turned out, it was pretty easy basically to work with the Canvas API. But the challenge came when we had to basically save all the small pixels from the image that was gonna lit up by the end of the campaign, basically, and like save all those pixels in an array or like in some type of list, and then traversing that list so we can find which pixels we need to lit up for, like next. So that was kind of like it needed high performance, so to say, because like it should have been like instantaneous, basically. So that kind of took us a little bit of work to kind of optimize the performance of that algorithm. And finally, we basically set on the JavaScript set objects, basically, and that kind of proved the best in terms of performance. And then we kind of stayed on that. Other than that, I think that everything went pretty smoothly.
Great. How many dots would you say the flag represented? Or like if you created your set, how many spots were there?
Oh, I don't remember the number, but probably
Around 80,000, I guess.
Yeah, almost 100,000, basically. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Could you give me a rundown of like what the real-time setup looked like?
You mean real time, like how we notified the canvas that it needed to update?
Yeah, well, pretty much from the form, what happened after that?
So basically, whenever the form was submitted, we save that data in the database on the backend, and we also send the notification to the front end. So then front end found a random dot on that canvas, basically on that big list of set objects, basically, and then it would lit like a random number, basically on the front end, and then that's pretty much it. It sounds really easy, but
Yeah. And I'm trying to
actually-
map it to like Laravel concepts in my mind.
Oh, so basically, it's we used Laravel's Echo for the front end handling of the real time notifications, and we used Pusher and the Laravel's broadcasting features to
Gotcha.
basically broadcast the events to the front end. And since it was like a one single instance on the front end, it was nothing too complicated. We basically like send a notification that you need to lit up another one, basically. So
Awesome. Gaga, I saw you were about to talk on that one.
Oh, I guess I was about to mention the same, that actually like Laravel's broadcasting capabilities helped us a lot with quite quickly implementing this real-time functionality that we needed to build with Pusher, and then with Laravel Echo on the front end, letting us easily handle the incoming real-time events on the front end side.
So cool. It's crazy that, like, I don't know, I haven't used Echo much, but in my mind, it feels so simple that it's like,
Yeah,
how could it do this much? And I guess because it's simple, it can do that much.
yeah, that's right. That's the beauty of it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like you are able to build stuff that would potentially take couple times more time to build that if you did not have that kind of like tooling that comes with this batteries included approach that the Laravel ecosystem is quite famous for, I guess.
yeah, but for me, it's actually Laravel's broadcasting features. Like that's kind of what makes my life really easy in terms of like handling all that, because it gives you really nice interface or like nice way of working with the broadcasting events on the front end that otherwise you'll need like a lot of time to basically have it structured and like implemented, basically. And also Pusher is really really good tool, but we want to switch to Reverb. Let's see what.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Any of that real-time stuff, I feel like as many times as you do it, every time you do it, it's like, oh my gosh, this is kind of magic. This is cool.
Yeah.
Let's say, like setup part, every time I do the setup, it seems like it's my first time doing it. But once you set it up, it's really, really smooth and easy to manage, basically.
Yeah. So batteries included helped with the 3-week development timeline. What would you have changed if we had gone to like, if you had 6 weeks, double the time?
Well, I think that we actually wouldn't change anything on the functionality side, because I think that we didn't compromise there. So we tried to, functionality-wise, we tried to do the best that we could. But on the front end, like on the styling side, I think that we rushed a little bit. Maybe we would get back to that, refine everything, and like have a really nice
Polish
front end.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, basically polish up the front end. And also, we would probably stress test beforehand before going to live, because in our case right now, like on this project, basically the real stress test happened on the production, like first day basically, which is not always not the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, we probably thoroughly stress test it, like see where's the gaps or like where's the bottlenecks, and we would fix that, and then we would go live without even worrying about anything basically.
Yeah. I don't know. You both have been building these projects for 10 years now. At this point, no errors ever.
Like from my experience of like building this type of projects, no matter like how much you try to stay safe, there's something's gonna go wrong. Something's gonna go wrong. It's always the case. But yeah, we actually fixed what went wrong. We actually fixed it really easily, thanks to cloud actually, because otherwise it would have taken way longer time, and it was almost unseen by the end users basically. And if anybody saw the 500 error, Laravel's 500 error, any developer saw that, they would be like, "Oh, it's written on Laravel."
Yeah, that's great. So, final question: if you weren't able to use Laravel and Laravel Cloud for a project like this, do you think the 3-week timeline would have been enough?
Well, like for us, it was three main parts, like three challenges that we needed to kind of overcome. One was basically the admin panel, and we use Filament for that. And Filament is really nice to, like, it speeds things up a lot, and you have a really nice looking admin panel in basically no time. There was one big challenge that got solution like really quickly, and like we got the working prototype really quickly. The other part was actually the live notifications and like the real-time events, and Laravel Echo and Laravel's broadcasting features and pusher, like they basically saved a lot of time. And the third part, that was the web application, we used Inertia with Laravel. That kind of saved us a lot of time of like setting up the API and the front end and the back end separately, managing all that, and like we managing the state on the front end, which is pretty like time consuming anyways. So basically this allowed us to move really fast. So like setup time was basically non-existent. Like we straight up started developing the product and like thinking of the business idea rather than like worrying about the technical stuff, you know. So and also like Laravel Cloud allowed us to have like zero downtime straight off the go, and also like the scaling, and we didn't have to set that up by ourselves. So I think that I would even say that if there was no option of Laravel Cloud and Laravel, we probably would never accepted this short timeline, honestly.
Yeah.
It was really tight, but that helped us a lot, actually.
That's great. Out of my curiosity, was it using Octane?
I know. I think.
Yeah.
Octane.
It was using Octane. Yeah.
Okay.
That's,
I figured there's so many submissions coming through at the same, like such a small amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, Octane helps a lot, especially with like projects of that type where you have quite a big scale out of the box, basically, when you launch it. So you get a lot of requests incoming, so you got to handle that. And basically, Octane is quite performant over FPM. So for this project, we had Octane in use, and also on Laravel Cloud, turning on Octane is like just clicking a toggle button to do that. So yeah, quite easy.
Yeah, that's great. Well, I love the project. I amazing that you both built this, and thanks so much for being on. I had a great time chatting with you both.
Same.
Yeah, the same. Thanks, Chris. It was really great having this conversation.
Yeah, thank you so much. Cool. Here's to another 10 years in Laravel.
Yeah, cheers to that.